Maverick's riveting story of people who have changed the world. Steve Jobs, the trailblazer's journey from a garage to global tech dominance. A riveting tale of resilience and innovation. Summary. Dive into the compelling life story of Steve Jobs, an adopted child who defied conventional paths and emerged as a tech titan, transforming Apple into a $3 trillion market cap behemoth. Journey through his formative years, from tinkering in a humble garage to seeking spiritual enlightenment in India. Feel the grit behind his resilience as he rebounded from being ousted from his own company, to usher in an era of innovation with iPods, iPhones, and iPads, selling over 2 billion devices. Learn about his role in Pixar, which led to blockbuster movies, forever altering animation. Steve's life is a testament to the power of persistence, vision, and innovation. A tale that showcases how audacity and creativity can revolutionize industries and alter the course of technology. Presented by Global Elites Network at Non.School. Global Elites Network, pioneering future leaders through innovative education. Steve Jobs, a name synonymous with innovation, success, and tenacity, wasn't born into privilege. He entered the world on February 24, 1955, in San Francisco, California, to Joanne Carol Scheibel. His father, John Al-Jandali, was an immigrant from Syria, a nation mired in danger at the time. Before Steve was even born, his mother made the heart-wrenching decision to give him up for adoption, believing she and his father were not ready to form a family. Steve was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. Unable to have their children, they were thrilled to welcome Steve into their home, and they showered him with love and attention. Steve later expressed gratitude for his adoptive parents, recognizing the fortune in having them as his caregivers. In his formative years, they adopted a girl, making Steve an older brother, and they all moved to Mountain View, California. Here, his father Paul worked as a machinist, a profession that left an indelible impact on young Steve. From a young age, Steve displayed an affinity for creation and engineering. Inspired by his father's craftsmanship, he often accompanied him to the garage workshop where they spent hours working on cars and building various things. The sight of his father transforming mere components into functioning machines sparked in Steve a fascination for innovation that would shape the trajectory of his life and, unbeknownst to him then, the world. Steve's academic life was a mixed bag. As a child, he was more of a prankster than a model student. His parents believed that his mischievousness stemmed from boredom, not indiscipline. Recognizing Steve's intelligence, they thought he needed more complex problems to pique his interest. They were right. In the 4th grade, his teacher, Teddy Hill, offered him $5 to complete his math workbook. The prospect of a reward invigorated Steve, and he eagerly dived into the task, realizing the joy of learning and the gratification of solving problems. However, the roller coaster that was his schooling continued. Middle school was a harsh period for Steve, who faced bullying and isolation. No child should endure such torment, and Steve was no exception. His parents, recognizing his distress, decided to move to a better neighborhood to give him access to a more supportive school environment. The decision was financially burdensome, but their love for Steve outweighed the financial consideration. They chose to prioritize his well-being, demonstrating the immeasurable depth of their affection for their adopted son. In his new school, Steve found a better social and academic environment. He discovered peers who shared his interest in engineering and literature. In particular, Steve was drawn to the works of the famed English playwright, William Shakespeare. The intricate narratives and eloquent language in Shakespeare's works enthralled him, fostering a love for literature that complemented his fascination for engineering. It was in this school that Steve met Steve Wozniak, a like-minded enthusiast of electronics. Their shared interest cemented their friendship, and upon graduating high school, they teamed up to build their first device, the Blue Box. This contraption allowed them to make long-distance calls for free, a revolutionary achievement at the time. They sold these blue boxes, and Steve got his first taste of entrepreneurship. This experience planted the seed of business acumen in Steve's mind, revealing the potential for innovation to be not just exciting but also profitable. Despite his achievements, Steve was uncertain about his future. He dabbled in different classes in college, gaining exposure to various subjects. Notably, he developed a fondness for calligraphy, which influenced his later emphasis on aesthetic appeal in his technological creations. During this period, he also worked at Atari, one of the pioneering video game companies, further deepening his experience with cutting-edge technology. However, this journey was not solely focused on technology. Steve also traveled to India, where he spent almost a year living with monks, learning about Buddhism and the practice of meditation. These experiences broadened his horizons and enriched his perspective, blending spiritual wisdom with his technical acuity. Upon his return, Steve and Wozniak resumed their collaborative work. At the time, personal computers were a rare commodity, almost unimaginable to the average household. Yet, Steve saw an opportunity here. Together, they started working on their own computer model, tirelessly innovating and perfecting their design in the Jobs family garage. To fund their venture, Steve sold his car and Wozniak, his prized calculator. One day, inspired by a visit to an apple orchard, Steve proposed the name Apple for their computer. The humble fruit was also Steve's favorite, thus marking the inception of the iconic brand, Apple. Despite the challenges, Steve was undeterred. His indefatigable spirit propelled Apple's success, and it wasn't long before they managed to attract investors. They built and sold more computers, with a unique focus on personal use. The idea was revolutionary, to make computers not just accessible, but also user-friendly for everyone. Their persistence paid off, and by 1980, Apple was worth over $1 billion. However, success didn't come without trials. Apple found itself competing with IBM, another significant player in the burgeoning computer industry. Even though Apple's Macintosh computer was successful, it couldn't surpass IBM's sales. This period also witnessed internal discord within Apple, leading to Steve Wozniak's exit and eventually Steve Jobs being ousted from his own company. Yet, adversity only seemed to fuel Steve's innovative spirit. He launched Next, a venture that later evolved into the iOS platform we know today. Around the same time, he also invested in Pixar, a small group of graphic designers tinkering with 3D modeling and computer graphics. Under Steve's leadership, and the creative direction of John Lasseter, Pixar produced the first ever computer-animated movie, Toy Story. The phenomenal success of Toy Story led to Pixar becoming a part of Disney and producing other blockbuster movies like Cars, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Monsters, Inc., and many more. This period underscored Steve's resilience and ability to pivot in the face of setbacks. Eventually, Steve returned to Apple, overseeing the design of revolutionary products like the iMac, iPod, and the iPhone, solidifying Apple's status as a leader in consumer electronics. In each product, Steve emphasized both aesthetics and functionality, striving for elegance in design and efficiency in performance. Apple's success under Steve Jobs' leadership was astronomical. In 2023, its stock price reached the $3 trillion mark multiple times, and it continually outperformed its competitors, even selling more iPads in a year than all other companies selling PCs combined. Despite being a college dropout, Steve Jobs' vision and execution capacity were beyond extraordinary. Steve Jobs' life is a testament to the power of creativity, perseverance, and vision. His story is a source of inspiration for millions of kids worldwide, a beacon for the potential of innovation and entrepreneurship. Institutions like the Global Elites Network, led by Principal Maverick, use stories of such influential individuals to motivate and nurture young minds. They focus on fostering creativity, critical thinking, accelerated learning, business acumen, leadership, and management skills among children, equipping them to become well-rounded leaders in the world of innovation and entrepreneurship. Steve Jobs' legacy serves as a compelling blueprint for these young innovators, a testament to the power of belief, hard work, and unwavering determination in achieving unprecedented success. In addition to recounting the tale of Steve Jobs, these educational institutions also shed light on the underlying values that were integral to his success. They emphasized the importance of resilience, drawing upon Steve's challenges, his early life as an adopted child, his struggle with schooling, his ousting from his own company, to underscore the value of tenacity in the face of adversity. Perhaps one of the most poignant lessons they extract from Steve's life is his commitment to learning and self-improvement. From his early days tinkering in his father's garage, to his foray into calligraphy during college, and even his spiritual journey in India, Steve exemplified an insatiable curiosity. He sought out knowledge not merely for the sake of learning, but to broaden his perspective, to understand different disciplines, cultures, and ways of thinking. In doing so, he developed a unique, holistic approach to innovation, which set him apart from his contemporaries. This unquenchable thirst for knowledge and exploration was paralleled by a remarkable ability to envision the future. Steve was known for his reality distortion field, a term coined by his colleagues at Apple, referring to his extraordinary capacity to persuade people of nearly impossible outcomes. He believed in his vision with unshakable conviction and inspired others to do the same. This talent for persuasion, combined with his futuristic outlook, allowed him to turn the seemingly impossible into the incredibly successful. Steve's leadership style also provides a wealth of learning opportunities. He was known to be demanding, often pushing his team to their limits, yet he was equally devoted to his vision and his team. He strived for excellence in every facet of his work, setting a high bar for his employees and encouraging them to exceed their own expectations. As a result, under his leadership, Apple not only produced groundbreaking products but also cultivated a culture of innovation, resilience, and excellence. Beyond these values, educational institutions such as the Global Elites Network highlight the importance of creativity and inventiveness in Steve's journey. From his groundbreaking designs at Apple to his revolutionary approach at Pixar, Steve demonstrated that creativity is not a frivolous endeavor but a critical component of success. It's not merely about thinking differently, but about daring to challenge conventions, to reimagine what's possible, and to strive relentlessly to bring that vision to life. Steve Jobs was not just an inventor or a CEO. He was a trailblazer, a visionary, and an inspiration. His journey offers innumerable lessons: the importance of resilience, the value of learning and self-improvement, the power of visionary thinking, the significance of effective leadership, and the pivotal role of creativity. These are the very lessons that Global Elites Network and other such institutions strive to imbue in their students. They seek to empower the next generation of leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs with the knowledge, skills, and inspiration they need to change the world, just as Steve Jobs did. Top 10 questions for further analysis. 1. What are the most important lessons we can learn from Steve Jobs' approach to innovation and product development? 2. How did Steve Jobs' resilience in the face of failures contribute to his eventual success, and how can we emulate that in our own business strategies? 3. How did Steve Jobs' focus on aesthetics and user experience help Apple differentiate itself in a crowded market, and how can we incorporate a similar focus in our own offerings? 4. How can we apply Jobs' concept of the reality distortion field in our leadership and in motivating our teams? 5. In what ways can we encourage and cultivate the same kind of disruptive thinking that led to Apple's breakthrough products? 6. How did Jobs balance his drive for perfect products with the business need to get products to market, and what can we learn from this for our own product development timelines? 7. How did Steve Jobs' background and diverse interests, such as calligraphy and Eastern philosophy, influence his approach to business, and how can our own unique backgrounds be brought to bear in our roles? 8. How did Jobs manage to turn around Apple after his return to the company, and what lessons can be drawn from his strategies during this period? 9. What was Steve Jobs' approach to handling competition, and how can this be applied in our own industries? 10. How can we cultivate the entrepreneurial spirit and culture that Jobs championed at Apple within our own organizations? That concludes version 1.0, our teaser. If you've enjoyed this and would like to delve into the complete business case study, version 2.0, we invite you to subscribe to our @mba.casestudy channel at either https://courseware.mba or https://casestudy.mba. Once there, you'll be able to access and read the full version 2.0 case study. Every day, Maverick will publish several videos containing the comprehensive version 2.0 of the MBA case study channel. We encourage you to share your thoughts on any MBA case study video that piques your interest. Your input could be valuable for others in our community, so please don't hesitate to leave a comment.